Brook Audiology, where relationships matter.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to the program. I'm Weatherman Dustin Staples. Sincerely appreciate your time, as always, as you're checking us out on the YouTube channel at youtube.com/BTW21News, as well as our Facebook page at facebook.com/BTW21, as well as our website. We hope you are doing well and enjoying another nice day before the calm of the storm this coming weekend. It's going to be looking pretty wet at this point in time, and so right now Hurricane Ian already has made a batter outside of Cuba this morning. Right around a Category 3 storm is expected to strengthen to a Cat 4, if it is already at this time. So it is expected to make somewhere between Fort Myers, Tampa, and also St. Petersburg, and somewhere along the Clearwater District. They're expected to see several inches of rain, and let's not talk about the rip currents. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. So right now they are expecting to see some dangerous high surf currents, as well as some massive flooding possibly in that area. And again, if there's a landfall in Tampa late tonight or sometime Wednesday, it would be the first time in over 100 years since that city has seen a hurricane landfall impact that region. So no hurricanes today, thankfully, but pretty calm and warm. Lots of sunshine to continuing on this afternoon and going into tonight. 68 degrees right there as well. We do begin to see the clear skies develop overnight at 8 p.m. coming in at 56 degrees. We'll dip down to 50 this evening with mostly to partly clear skies developing. Of course, there's a northwest breeze about 5 to 10 miles per hour that'll be in the vicinity. So doing some clear, continue to see the clear skies. Better yet, go ahead and continue those bonfires and s'mores. Or if you haven't done so already, get that lawn work done, because once we see this rain this weekend, you're going to want to get that done as fast as you can, because it's going to get really wet and really a lot of rain here pretty soon. So we're not expecting feet of rain, but we're expecting right now there's a couple of inches, several inches right now as this forecast is continuing to evolve as I'm talking to you during this recording. So just keep that in mind, that all of this will be subject to change again by Wednesday. I may be telling you something totally different tomorrow. So right now this storm is just all over the place and doesn't appear to have a set or stone mind, but we are highly confident that Florida will definitely feel some significant, if not major, impacts this week coming up, particularly tonight and going into tomorrow. And then again Thursday, Friday, that is the time frame where we need to keep a close eye on that, because what's going to happen with that storm is where the storm is going to begin a tropical depression, if not a tropical storm at that point in time. Once the storms typically reach land, they begin to lose a lot of their energy. They're very hard to reform again once they make impacts to direct soil in the U.S. So once they're in the water, they have all that fuel going for them. Oh man, it's just like a never-ending cycle for those storms to continue to fire up as they go on as well. So something to keep in mind. Pretty cold temperatures tonight. 39. I told you, Franklin, parts of Patrick County may see some lower 30s, mid-30s, even Stewart 41 as well. Ridgeway coming in at 42. Same story here in the city of Martinsville, 44 in Ferrum, outside of Route 40, going through that way from Rocky Mount, Boone's Mill, heading towards Sontag and Snow Creek communities there, coming at 44 degrees. And elsewhere, again, pretty chilly tomorrow morning, so you're going to definitely need a nighter, probably another heavy coat. Maybe you may need a sweater or two with you in the morning, and then later in the afternoon you may want to keep it with you, because we're going to remain pretty cool for our Wednesday. As you take a look at some of our daytime highs right here, coming into the city, 66 degrees with a mix of sun and clouds. That is, again, we're going to begin to see the shift in our winds, as well as our increasing of clouds later this week to come, so just keep that in mind. Area highs tomorrow, low to mid 60s, barely even hitting 60 in Medicine, 66 in Stewart, as well as here in Rocky Mount, 67 in Ridgeway outside of Martinsville Speedway. So maybe head to the Dickie Willie Trail, head to the Smith River Sports Complex. Any of our area trails tomorrow looking perfect. A lot of our kids doing maybe some of their varsity and JV football practices going along with no problems. So whatever, the marching bands even, they've been doing some practices outside. Just do know it's going to be chilly, kind of cool out there. So as you're getting ready for Football Friday, of course, we'll continue to keep you updated as we get closer on that as well. All right, let's talk about our weekend impacts here. So let's break this down real quickly because I know a lot of you have questions about how the rest of your weekend is going to be playing out. I would go ahead and say cancel your outdoor plan just because it's going to be so wet that you want to have stuff indoors. So if you have things scheduled for Saturday, go ahead and move them indoors for the safety of everybody out there because this tropical storm is going to most likely impact us Saturday and the remnants of it. This is what we're going to be in for right now. A lot of heavy rain. There's going to be some breezes out here, 10 to 20 miles per hour possible with this tropical depression. By this point, it would be a depression because the state of the matter of the tropical storm of itself would diminish. And of course, we're not going to be talking about hurricane force winds in our direction. So right now, some of the computer models are spitting out between 3 and 5. Some other computer models have between 1 and 3 inches right now. So somewhere between 1 and 3.5 inches of rain is possible. Now, once you have tropical downpours, it's going to fall heavy at times. It's going to create some flooding concerns for our area. So I will say, will this change? Yes, because this is such an evolving system. It is so precarious of what we're looking at with the storm itself. You need to be very up to date with the information provided with you. So just do know this weekend, it's going to be a weekend you want to be indoors. You don't want to be outdoors. I know a lot of things are going on. Oktoberfest Saturday, we still up in the air with that. So stay tuned for when an official statement is released this week. There will be they're probably been watching me the last couple of days with this weather pattern moving into effect. Also contacting the Weather Service. Sunday, we're going to begin to see the leftover remnants of Ian that'll begin to push through our area. Pretty chilly out here, and again, that's why that caution symbol is at play. As we're letting you know, do be careful because we're expected to see some much of this heavy rain expected to move on in. 60% chance of that. Northeast breezes about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Maybe later Sunday, depending on how fast this track and system begins to move in our area, we may begin to see some of the heavy rain but quickly move out of our area. But again, right now, definitely Friday morning's looking pretty okay. Clouds will begin increasing the afternoon on Friday. We will begin to see the heaviest of rain move in late Friday. So just keep a close eye on what decisions are made for football and a lot of our other activities going on. Again, definitely Saturday is going to be the wettest day of the weekend as it approaches in time. So we'll have to definitely keep that in mind, and whether or not if the Oktoberfest will be going on without a hitch. Here's the latest updates this afternoon. Of course, these updated maps change so frequently. I talked about storm surge. This is parts of Florida. Again, somewhere between almost 6 to possibly 12 feet of storm surge is expected, basically meaning once the storm makes direct impact inland, it is going to increase the waves of the storm as well as the ocean itself. So a lot of times that water is going to be rushing in really fast, that it's going to have nowhere else to go. It's going to create itself as inland flooding. And again, parts of the Tampa Bay, there you see almost 6 feet, of course, parts of western Florida, eastern Florida, going towards Miami there and Orlando. They're expected to see some of that heavy rain as well, and also storm surges going all the way up to the coast of South Carolina and also the panhandle of Florida. So if you have folks down along the coast of the beaches, do know they are expected to see some high storm surge. And again, real quickly, again, this updated map will be updated again this afternoon, so stay tuned with the National Hurricane Center. I know they've been kind of hard. I try to share as much updated information I can from them on our Facebook page because it's a little difficult to determine whether or not what's at play and where the things kind of go from here. So once again, several impacts of Cuba today that made several just high damaging winds there. Is expected to become a Category 4 storm tonight, if not tomorrow. And again, the track of the storm does show that most of that will be impacting west and central parts of Florida by tomorrow morning, and then going into parts of Georgia as a tropical storm. And then by that point in time, by the regions our neck of the woods, we're in that cone of uncertainty now. So just do know that tropical depression state will begin to move in. Right now, we are going to begin to see this. And what's happening with this, there's a cold front that's interacting with this storm. So some of the computer models are starting to move this out to sea. Some of it's beginning to move inland. So this is why this is such an evolving and an ongoing system, because we really don't have a defined answer of whether if we're going to see the heaviest of the rain, which we are going to see heavy rain, but of course we're not going to expect to see feet of rain compared to our friends here south side. Fort Myers, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Pensacola even may be seeing some impacts from this storm. And again, once it moves up towards the Carolinas and going up to our region, that's we'll have to keep a close eye on that as well. So the storm could most likely linger into Monday if this goes as planned. Stay tuned for another update for Wednesday. More on the storm will continue to evolve as we get closer to the weekend.
Your BTW 21 weather forecast is sponsored by Zentmeyer Chiropractic.